Yo, what's up, everyone? My name's Dave, and you suck at programming. Today, we're going to talk about a hotly requested item, okay? We're going to talk about permissions on Unix file systems, but specifically permissions around directories. Because a lot of people had questions about this. They were like, Dave, what happens if you take away execute permission, but you have read permission on a directory? Doesn't that seem kind of weird? And it's like, well, yeah, I mean, that is kind of weird, but let's talk about it. Let's see what happens. And maybe some operating systems are different than others. So for this example, we're going to be on Linux here just to kind of keep some things consistent, but let's go ahead and let's make a new directory. We're going to call it secret. So this is just a brand new directory. There's nothing going on here, nothing weird going on, no trickery. Let's make some files in there. Let's make foo, bar, and bas. So we just have 3 new files in that directory. We can go ahead and ls it, and we can see, hey, there's our 3 files. That's super awesome. That makes perfect sense. That's great. What are we gonna do now? Let's remove some permissions, okay? We're gonna take away the execute permission on it. So what does that mean? If we stat the file now, we can see if we look at its permissions right here, we have RW nothing RR. So this would be 644 effectively. This basically means this is like you would find most files are in this permission set, but this is a directory, so it's a little bit weird. What does that mean? Well, first things first, let's cd into it. We can't. Permission denied. But can we ls it? Kind of. How weird is that? So what's happening here? We are able to ls the file in the sense that we could list the directory entries of the secret directory. You don't need execute permission to do that. We don't need execute to list a directory, but we do need execute to go into it and do things like stat them. So in order to get information about the file, because ls does more than just list a directory, it gets information about each file in there. That's how ls can know if it's like a regular file or directory. That's why ls knows file size if you give it -l, things like that. You have to stat the file. So we can't stat these files, but we can list them. We could prove this if I were to fire up something like, let's fire up Python, let's import os.listdir. We can give it the name of the directory, which is secret, and you can see it can list it just fine, but we just can't go in there and do any work with those files. So what's next? Let's go ahead and re-give it that permission. So let's make things right, but let's take away a permission now. Let's take away the ability to read that directory. So we have execute back, but we can't read it. Might be a little confusing. I'll go ahead and stat it so you can see what it looks like. Here's what it looks like. We don't have the R permissions. We have these weird bizarro permissions. What is this? Like 311? I don't even know. This is just a weird permission set. So we can write to it as our user Dave, which we currently are. We can execute it, but we can't read from it. So what happens now? If we cd into it, hey, that works. That's awesome. What about if we ls it? Can't open it. Can't open it. I can be inside it. I have the read permission, but I can't, or sorry, I have the execute permission, but I can't list it. I don't have the read permission. So what does that mean? Can I make files? Yeah. Can I delete files? Yeah. I can't list files. I can't ls it, but if I know a file's there, like foo, I can delete it. If I try to delete it again, no such file directory, but I can't list it. So I have execute permissions. I can go in the directory. I can do things with the directory, but I can't read from it. I have write access, which allows me to change things in the directory. I should say that specifically. So yeah, super weird. Some really weird like Dropbox things you could make with this. I don't know. Typically, I just set my directories to 755 and call it a day. But yeah, hopefully you found this interesting. Yo, and of course, I want to give a quick shout out to my patrons over at Patreon. Thank you so much for your continued support. I think that's super awesome. If you want your name at the end of the videos like these lovely members have, go ahead and check out my Patreon. You can see the link right there. Boop, there it is. Yep. So thank you very much. Appreciate the support. Yeah, have a good one.